Mitch Patel, welcome to Heart of the City. Thank you for being on this podcast. So honored to have you. You are a just visionary and a just game changer in our community and beyond. You are the CEO of Vision Hospitality. You also have been the chairman of the hotel. What is it called?
It's the American Hotel Lodging Association.
American
yes.
Hotel Lodging Association for the past year, which is insane. We'll hit on that. And you are just a dear, dear person. And you always have kind of approached everyone you encounter that I've witnessed with this amazing humility and big heart. So can't wait to dive in and really get to know you today. I'm excited.
Well, I'm honored to be on this podcast with you today, and thank you for those kind words.
Of course, yes. Okay, so I think a lot of people in Chattanooga know you kind of as like the man in the suit. You're always very polished, buttoned up. You have beautiful, presence about you, and you care about your appearance in the most like perfectly professional yet personable way. What do you like about that role, the man in the suit and kind of the CEO?
Well, Amy, I don't know if I've ever been described that way.
Really?
No,
Okay.
I haven't heard that before, but thank you. I think there's a lot that goes into that. I was sharing with you earlier about we grew up very poor, right? My father came to this great country with $8 in his pocket
Wow.
to pursue something that is so powerful, and that's the American dream. And we grew up very humble, modest upbringing. Yeah, I haven't told this story often, but and I'm going to get to your answer here in a little bit. But framing it the way I'd like to frame it is, we grew up so poor that in the 70s, color TV had come out for a while. And my father found a TV in salvage that had sound, no picture. And then he found another TV. It's a true story, that had picture, no sound. And it was black and white, and he put them together with the rabbit ears. And that was our entertainment. And I remember Saturday mornings, cartoons, you get up early. Every kid wants to get up early and watch those watch those cartoons. I would walk quite a bit to a friend's house to watch those cartoons on color. But I guess what I wanted to share with you, Amy, was that when you grow up with very little, and then there's opportunity to get those things that you didn't have, I think you just appreciate those things a little bit more.
Totally.
And I feel like I'm smelling roses for the first time.
Oh, that's so sweet. I can tell that. It never has come across. I don't mean it at all that, the man in the suit is from a place of vanity.
No.
You can tell you're really proud of just, what you've built and where you are and the life you've created for yourself. And that's amazing. So inspiring. So let's talk about when you're not the man in the suit. How do you let loose? Like when you're just with your friends or you're traveling with your family, how does Mitch Patel let loose?
How do I let loose? Yes. Being a CEO of a company, now we have 1,700 people in our organization, 44 hotels in 8 states. It's been an incredible, incredible journey that could not be possible without the team that we have built over the years. So, when you're at the office, right, you have to portray yourself in a certain way as the chairman of this 30,000 member organization at AHLA. You have to present yourself in a certain way. But then at home, that transition, right, you've got to my wife has called me out.
I'm sure.
She has called me out quite a few times. And she said, why don't you go back to the office? And I go, what do you mean? And she just felt like that I am carrying that role back home.
Wow,
right?
that's so good.
And I think that we, all of us, have to know when to do what, right? And to answer your question about letting loose, you're going to be surprised by some of these answers. But, I want to do the opposite of what I do every day at work. Like if I'm, in a suit and buttoned down, right? And more polished. I just want to get my sweats.
Yes,
right?
I love it.
I just want to get my sweats and put a most comfortable T-shirt on and prop my feet up and put something that maybe some 10-year-old or 20-year-old show.
Mindless show.
Mindless show. Watch something on the cooking channel, or travel, because I love, even though I'm in the travel business, I love travel on the personal side as well. And it's just invigorating for me. And so I love to watch anything on travel as well. So just to let my mind kind of, get away from the things that I do every day. And everybody needs those releasers, right? What are those releasers? So for me, it's just what I just described. It could be a good book or a magazine that I just want to dive into. I talk a lot, right, in my job. And so sometimes I just don't want to do that, right? I just want to say the calmness, the quietness. I think it's great to have that. I do like a good glass of wine. I don't drink a lot, but wine calms me down, and I love a good glass of wine. I love good food and good company. I'm blessed with a great family and great friends. And so that's
You're
what
just
life.
a normal guy.
It's a normal, I think I'm just a normal person, and who doesn't like to dream?
Yeah,
It
true.
gives you an opportunity in those moments to dream.
So true.
And not just dream maybe about what you want to do in business, what's next. At my age now, after doing this for 28 plus years, I've realized that, when I started this company with very humble beginnings, I didn't have a lot of things, right? Capital, knowledge, experience, network.
Connections,
which is so important. But I didn't think about this at that time, but I had endless amount of time. When you're 27 years old and you start this dream.
True.
Now fast forward, blessed with so many of those things, but time becomes your most precious currency. So every decision that I make now has to be through the lens of time. And
That's so good.
And there are so many people that have achieved certain things and in their lives, and now I want to be able to utilize the time that I have to go do all the other things that I want to do that I wasn't able to do for the last 30 years. And so that is what I love dreaming about now. What's next?
That's amazing.
And so forth.
That's so insightful. Oh, I love it. Okay, what is one thing people may not know about Mitch, about you?
I'm sure there's quite a few things that people don't know about me, but I don't know if people know this about me, but I love art. And I used to not just love art in terms of appreciating art. I painted.
Wow. I didn't know this.
And did drawings in charcoal and so forth. So when going back, my father came to this country with $8 in his pocket that I mentioned. I was born in India. I don't know if many people know that either.
Wow.
So we grew up in this dusty little village in Gujarat, India.
And you have memories of this.
I do have memories, not the early periods, but then definitely I do have memories because I was about 4.5 years of age. So when I was 6 months old, my father came to this country. He couldn't afford to bring my mother and I.
Wow.
And so we stayed back. And then when I was 4.5 years of age, my mother and I joined him. And he picked me up he picked us up at the San Francisco airport, and he had this beard.
Oh.
I never talked to him. I didn't see him.
Wow.
Besides some pictures, I guess, but there was no video back then. He wrote letters, but I couldn't read. So I didn't really know him, right? And I'm supposed to call him Dad. And I rejected him.
Wow.
Yeah, because I didn't know who this person was, and I wanted to go back home, who my grandfather was like my father figure.
Wow.
And to get to the story of what people don't know about me is I've always had this love of drawing. And my dad knew that because my mom would tell him that. And he bought this little, what do you call it, like a binder.
Like a notebook.
Like a notebook and this little crayons or something. And I drew the Golden Gate Bridge. And he kept that.
Wow.
And I've just had this love for art at a very young age, and even through middle school and high school, I was in competitions with my art.
Wow, Mitch, that's awesome.
And I had art in high school exhibited at the Hunter Museum. And fast forward, right? You build this art-centric hotel right across the Hunter Museum.
Oh, that's so special.
With 200 pieces of local art. And so, and I say this often, I may not, one of those things that I actually want to do with my time is go back and paint and draw. And I've always felt like I was this creative person. And that's why engineering was not for me. And guess what I get to do every day now, though?
Create art in your spaces.
That's right.
Yeah.
I could take a blank space. It could be a piece of land. It could be a parking lot. It could be a 100-year-old building.
So cool.
And we get to create art with it.
That's so cool. Oh, I love it. Okay, so speaking of all this art in spaces, so you said 77 hotels.
No, 44.
44. What was 77? Did I make that up? Did you say that? Okay.
I don't.
44 hotels, some of which are national brands, but some of which are very boutique and very unique to the city. So for instance, Kinley, Edwin, a couple of my favorites here in Chattanooga. How do you balance kind of that line, like the ones that are going to be very reflective of a city versus the ones that are a bit more corporate, and what's meaningful about those ones that are a little bit more specialized?
Oh, absolutely. So, when we started this company, we started with those hard brands that most people are familiar with, right? Hampton Inn, a Residence Inn, a Courtyard. And, those brands, it's like if you're in the restaurant business, it's a McDonald's or a Chili's,
serve a purpose.
Right?
Yes.
Absolutely. It serves a purpose, and it's like this, it's this painting by numbers.
Yeah, it's
right?
a well-oiled machine.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's all proven.
Yeah.
It's figuratively now I'm speaking. You get this box.
Yes.
And everything is in that box, right? The menu, the do not disturb sign, the prototype plans.
Nice.
Everything is in there, so you're not having to rethink this business model in this risky day-to-day lease business.
Totally.
Right? And so when you explore to do a independent boutique hotel, it could be fun, but it could also be daunting.
Risky,
right?
yeah.
And there's a lot more risk. So of course, it took us decades before we decided to do our first independent boutique hotels. I'll tell you, Amy, that I always, as a traveler, I was always fascinated by that space.
Yeah.
Right?
Same.
And the same, right? For you and many others. So when you go to Rome, forget Rome, New Orleans.
Yeah, true.
Right? Or do you want to stay at a branded hotel? There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Or do you want to stay in a hotel that really tells the story of the local community, where you could immerse yourself into that local community with art
Totally.
and architecture
Culture,
and
yes,
culture and
yes.
design and history and all those things, right? When you go to Mexico, do you want to eat Japanese? When you go to Japan, right? You want to really, really immerse yourself into that culture, and that is all things that make a community great, and that is the food and beverage and the art and all those things that we just talked about. The independent boutique hotels really give you that opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And today we live in this transparent world, right? Where everything, there was a really, really important time for branded hotels and branded businesses, because that is something that we could talk about here with the Scout Guide as well. Because before that, there was a lot of independent businesses in the 40s and 50s and 60s, but then you didn't know what you were going to get in terms of quality, consistency.
So true.
And so thus, the branded businesses became really powerful and strong. A McDonald's, you knew exactly what that burger was going to taste like and what price you were going to pay.
And we're creatures of habit. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it provided that consistency and that reliability to that consumer. And then now fast forward, right? The advent of the mobile phone and the internet. So now if I want to find the best burger in town, I don't have to go to a McDonald's.
Yeah.
I will find it because my phone will tell me where it is. And so the world has really, really
so
changed.
true.
And so thus there is this more trust, right, in these independent businesses that's been created.
That's so cool.
And so that is really, we've come full circle, you could say. That people are craving those independent, unique experiences. And one more thing I want to say is those businesses that can really embrace experiences over a commodity will win in the future. I mean, if you look at a coffee shop, right? Is it just a cup of coffee? You could go to McDonald's and I could get a black coffee with some sugar. Or do you want an experience at a local coffee shop?
So
the
true.
Smells, the music, the lighting, the barista, and the interaction that you have with them, right? The where the coffee beans are coming from.
Yes.
The design, the communal aspect of how people are interacting with each other. Now it's beyond the coffee. Now it's
so
an
true.
experience,
Yeah.
right? And so in our business, for thousands of years, it's been shelter, right? You just need a roof above your head and, maybe some food, and you're on your way to the next place. Well, it cannot be shelter anymore. And thus, like the Edwin, the Kinley, the Grady in Louisville, Kentucky, the Inn at Celebration in Orlando, Florida, all of these unique independent hotels that we've created go beyond the commodity of shelter. And it is, we are creating unique experiences for our customers and our guests. They immerse themselves into the local community. And that's what we're trying to do with all of those hotels. And you're seeing more and more of those hotels come up all over the country. And it's not just a younger audience, all audiences are craving for unique experiences more than ever. And I don't know if you know this, but experiences took over the commodity, the goods, I should say, economy, well before the pandemic. So we are craving experiences as Americans over buying things.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing after the pandemic,
even
right?
more.
You're seeing that accelerate.
Yeah.
And
Because
so,
it's that longing for even just like human connection, I think. And
Absolutely.
really memorable experiences. That's so awesome.
That's correct.
Okay, let's talk about progress versus preservation. So I know you are a man of, you have pushed for our skyline to continue expanding and continue evolving here in Chattanooga. And I know you do it, all over the place, but you also have a really big heart for preservation and making sure that the story is told correctly and that there are still those historical elements that really nod to a place's legacy. So how do you balance that? It's like we have to keep moving the needle to be bringing others in and, kind of keeping up with society. But what about that preservation piece?
Yeah, look, everything has to be a balance, right? As developers, first of all, I'm thankful that we get to build hotels and beautiful buildings and beautiful, memorable experiences that we're creating for not just people coming from out of town, but our goal is to really create these memorable experiences also for the local people in the community, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we have really embraced
so well
at many of our hotels. And so that is a balance. We always want to be responsible, right? As a developer, and sometimes responsible and developer may not go hand in hand. But we feel like, on the business side, we're creating a tremendous economic impact to the local communities in terms of property taxes and transient taxes, sales taxes, and so forth. But very importantly, we're also creating jobs, right? We are creating tremendous amount of
huge.
jobs. And let me make this very clear. Every job is important, not just this white-collar job that might be making $100,000 a year, but that job that is paying $20 an hour is also very important because you're taking folks that may be struggling, right? And giving them an opportunity not just for a job, but for a meaningful career.
Yeah.
And there's thousands of examples of
so cool.
how people have come into our businesses, and many of these businesses, these retail businesses and the restaurant business, where they've come in and it is an entry-level position, and then they've gone on to become managers and vice presidents and CEOs of even companies, right? So those are all important. So that, talk about purpose, that really drives us. We get an opportunity to enhance people's lives,
That's
right?
incredible.
And I think how important culture is to our company. And so we do way more than that. And then there are times, where, we have bought historic buildings that were 120, 150-year-old buildings that were boarded up, that had graffiti on it, weeds growing out in front of the sidewalk. And we have purchased those buildings and brought it back to life, through with a hotel. So that is the balance of being responsible, making sure that we are preserving the identity, of the community. And we are very thoughtful and strategic when we do these things. We really, for example, with the Edwin, when we purchased that property, we had to go through a rezoning. And we wanted to make sure that the neighbors were very comfortable with what we were proposing to do.
Wow.
Well, I went door to door. We probably did 3 or 4 town halls.
Oh my gosh.
We listened, to our neighbors in that entire area of what they would want, what they would like to see, and we incorporated some of those ideas of what they wanted to see. So then, when we went to the zoning board, city council, and when they ask, right, the chair of the board asks, okay, who objects? There's not a single person
No way.
that objected. Who supports?
Wow.
And everybody stood up.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
That is how you do business.
Totally.
Right? And if you cannot, really engage with the local community and really get their buy-in, then it's probably going to be a difficult challenge in the business that you're trying to run. And I will say today, 80% plus of our food and beverage revenues at the Edwin is derived from the locals,
Oh, I'm
not
sure.
the guests that are coming from out of
That's
town.
so cool. What a testament.
And if you build it for the locals and the local community, then you have a better chance of that business being successful with people coming from out of town. Because guess what? The people that are coming from out of town is like what we talked about earlier, are looking for that local experiences. They don't want to be sitting at a bar and looking around and seeing just a bunch of other people from out of town.
No, it's so true.
They want to see and interact with the locals. And that is what
understand why we live in Chattanooga.
That's exactly right.
That's so cool. Okay, so speaking of, you've been so integral in just the planning of our city and the, development of our city, of course. So if you could wave this magic wand, what would be one thing you would change or do differently just about how our city has evolved in, the last several years?
Yeah, look, I think, first of all, I just want to thank the amazing leaders that we've had in our community over the last 50 years plus, and having that foresight, that vision of what this community could be, right? There's this beautiful piece of art. I keep on going back to the Edwin, but there's this beautiful piece of art. It's that butterfly wall.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And we created this blank canvas, and then we wanted to put some signature piece of art on that wall. And I've told the artist that you have free reign on creating whatever you would like, but I want butterflies.
Wow.
And why? Let me tell you why. Because it's a great opportunity to tell the story of Chattanooga, where 50 plus years ago, we were known as one of the dirtiest cities in America, right? Infamously called the dirtiest city in America by Walter Cronkite.
Wow.
And look, fast forward to today, we're known as one of the best towns for outdoor activities in the country, the scenic city, right? And so forth. So we have come such a long way, and that did not happen by accident. And so what creature in the animal kingdom transforms itself to something not so pretty to something beautiful?
Wow.
And that's butterflies. And that's why it's the butterfly art installation. There's more to that than that. But so we have come a long way, but we can't be, success is never final.
Yeah.
And we can't, just get comfortable with where we're at. It's a lot of competition. You've got Greenville, South Carolina, and Huntsville, and Knoxville, and all these, I would say, peer cities that are trying to do so many things that we have done over the years, and of course, even taking it further. So there are many things that I would love to see. I would love to see our convention center be, you could say, world class, and create an entertainment district around that area that would really draw in visitors from out of town and really fuel the economy of our city. And you see that Nashville with Music City Center, what that has done. Mm-hmm. And we're not Nashville, so we have to do it in our Chattanooga way. Mm-hmm. And so I would love to see more retail in our downtown. You go to Greenville and you see these really great boutique shops and shops stores, national stores that have come down on Main Street, and so we brought some of that, and I think we could do more of that. But you got to have people living in downtown.
Yeah.
So I think there should be a bigger push of creating residential spaces in our downtown. And when you have tens of thousands of people living in your downtown, now the magic starts happening, right? Now the other businesses can flourish. Again, guests do not want to come to a city and all they see is other guests.
No.
They want to see, and immerse themselves in the local community.
Yeah, it's so true.
All great cities, you see that. I think there's great opportunity for placemaking and creating public spaces and so forth. So there's there's a lot that we would love to do, and look forward to helping out in any way that I can.
That's cool. I believe in you wholeheartedly. Okay, let's talk about your secret sauce for creating culture. I know that hospitality is kind of known for a more high turnover industry. It can be kind of transient with, the employment. So you all have done such an impeccable job of really having high retention and creating that culture of a good atmosphere, like you said, growing all these entry-level positions into leaders. How have you done that?
Well, it's something that we work on every single day, Amy. I mean, culture, Howard Schultz, what is Howard Schultz, that saying that culture will trump any business strategy any day?
Wow.
There is no way a business can be sustainable and successful for a long period of time without having this shared values and beliefs and having a culture that is absolutely focused on your people first. And so, we learned that at an early age of our company. When I was a general manager of that first hotel, I was 27 years old and I had never managed anyone under me at that point. And so I learned real quickly that this business is all about the people that I surround myself with. I can't be everywhere checking in people, cleaning rooms, being at the breakfast. And so it was really important. And I didn't really know what culture meant, but every company has a culture. It might be good, it might be bad. And of course, we want it to be the best. And so, we work on this every single day. It's like a plant. You have to water it, fertilize it, prune it, nurture it every day. Because if you don't, what happens to a plant? It'll wilt and it could die. And that's not what you want. So fundamentally, you have to believe that whatever business that you're in, it's a people business. And if you think about it, every business is a people business, right? Not just the hotel business, but we talk about that we're not in the bricks and mortar business. We're not in the real estate business. We're in the people serving people business. So fundamentally, you have to have that belief, right? And now you said that people are your most important asset. Then treat them like that.
Yes,
right?
So true.
And so very simple philosophy that we have is, number one, we like to surround ourselves with great people with great attitudes, because you can't teach attitude.
No.
You just can't. There's some things you could teach. There's some things you just can't.
Nope.
And so we spend a lot of time making sure that we get people that have positive attitude, that want to learn, that have that willingness, that fire in their belly, and to serve as well. And then secondly, we place them in a position where they have the best chance to succeed. So there's something that I say in the company often: place a squirrel in the tree and the fish in the sea. People are inherently different with different strengths and weaknesses. So as an engineer, my background, of course, I'm a traffic engineer, I was that squirrel in the water. I couldn't be creative. I didn't interact with people, and it just wasn't for me. And so I get to climb every single day as a squirrel today. I found my passion where I never expected to. And so we want to make sure that people are in their natural habitat, and where they have the best chance to succeed, where they're playing off their strengths, not their weaknesses, right?
But that takes you getting to know them, which I think is
absolutely.
You've got to prioritize that relationship first to be able to know that.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have to know that. You can't just guess.
Take a guess,
and then this is where people fail, Amy, is you might have that person with the great attitude, and you're placing them in the best position where they have the best chance to succeed. But then you got to take care of them. And that's where I think people just feel like, okay,
they're thriving.
Yeah, they're
good.
thriving. No. In order to make withdrawals, you got to make deposits in people's emotional registers. And leadership is about building admiration and mutual respect, right? Just because you have a title, I'm manager, go do this, doesn't mean that that person is going to do it with all their heart,
No.
right? And so you have to roll up your sleeves and be there for them in the
Wow.
toughest of times and the best of times. So our best leaders, you know, and by the way, this data does not lie. In our hotels, the hotels have the highest guest satisfaction, which is so important in this transparent world that we live in. We talked
Totally.
about that. Is the hotels that have the highest employee engagement. And the hotels that have the highest employee engagement are the ones where the leaders lead with their heart. And when they care about their respective, their team, when the team says, I will go through a brick wall for
Wow.
you, that's when you know you have something special. And by the way, that was earned, right?
Totally.
That wasn't because I'm the manager and someone's just going to
No.
go through a brick wall for somebody.
Right. It's not the title.
No.
Yeah.
Because that person was there for them. And,
Wow.
and so that, there's a lot there, but I just wanted to summarize, but that's our culture
Yeah.
in a nutshell, that, you know, we want to make sure that we take care of our people. And then when you have an engaged team, I didn't even talk about the customer.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're
That's
going to
the
have
second level of people. Yeah.
That's exactly right. When you have an
Wow.
engaged and happy team, and you see it all the time in every business, right? When you go into a business, if it's a coffee shop or a boutique store, and someone is really cares and they're happy that you came,
You feel it.
you feel it.
So the customer's like just taken care of naturally when the
That's right.
employees are
That's right.
taken care of.
That's exactly right. And now,
Wow, you don't even
I
have to
wanna
worry
come
about the
back.
customer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now I want to come back, and I will not go somewhere else, even if I have
That's
a problem.
fascinating.
I know that they're going to take care of me, as opposed to somewhere else. And how many times have we been to a business where we walk around and no one has even
No one
come
cares.
talk to us? And then if you finally see somebody, they just walk right by you.
Yes.
And then you go, you know what? I think I'm going to go to another business.
Totally.
And that is, it's a directly proportional, what your culture and your organization that you have, the culture that you have in your organization will it's directly proportional to the success I think that you could have in your business.
That's so good. You're just so full of so many good bites. I just love you. Okay, what's one piece of advice you would give to a young person who's business minded, really wanting to just thrive in a career?
Yeah. So a few things. Number one, you know, as I talked a little bit about, you know, my advice that I'll give to a young person is really based on the experiences that I've had,
Yeah.
right? And so what has made us successful? Number one, I think that you got to love what you do, right? You got to have that passion, not just, okay, I can make a lot of money doing this, but I don't really love it. I don't care for it. What's really driving that person is the dollars.
Yeah.
Too often, they probably will not be successful. And so it's hard to work hard in something you don't love. And so you've got to love and have a true passion for what you're going to do. And so I think that's number one. And then number two, you know, I think you've got to think bigger, be bold, take chances. Business is not for the weak.
No.
Right? And you know that. I mean, it's you've got to put it all out there, and your greatest danger is that we aim too low and we reach it, right? So be bold, be proud, think bigger, but, you know, be smart about it,
Yeah.
right? You're not going to go build 10 of these businesses before the first one is successful,
Right.
And then the last thing is, you know, I touched on that. Every business is a people business. So culture will define a company's destiny. Character will define your destiny.
Wow.
So I think that be a good human being, right? Be kind, be respectful, follow the golden rule.
Yes, golden rule.
Treat others the way you would want to be treated, right? Too often I see business people fail because they're like going, well, I had the perfect product. I thought people would buy this.
They're overcomplicating it.
That's right. They're overcomplicating it, and especially in the service business.
They're making it about the commodity.
That's right.
Yeah.
And not about the experience and the service piece of it.
Cool.
And oftentimes that's why they fail. But look, it's not easy starting a business. But if you do those things, I think you have a better chance of being successful.
Okay, what's the biggest mistake you've made, and how have you learned from it?
Well, I made a lot of mistakes. We don't have time for all that today.
I'm talking what's a standout mistake?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll tell you the one thing that I think about often, I made many, is I think that we don't oftentimes have enough confidence in ourselves and our business and where it can go. So we take these shortcuts sometimes. And give you an example. I settled on certain people because I felt like I can't afford this person or this person. And then you realize that by settling, you didn't get the right person that you wanted. And then years later, you're getting this person.
Wow.
And I think that just be really, really strategic about early on making sure you get the best people that you surround yourself with.
Wow.
And if I had to do, there's so many things that I'd probably do over again if I had it. But then again, maybe some things I wouldn't, because we wouldn't be where we are if you didn't make those mistakes and learn from it, and it took you down a different path, right? But I would have probably, no offense to the people that I might have had earlier, but be a little bit more confident in where you think you're going and get the best people that you can get in early.
It's almost like the saying of you want to be surrounded in a room full of people that are better than you, doing more than you, to kind of smarter than you to rise to that occasion. I think that's so motivating.
Yes.
Okay, so what kind of habits or boundaries have you put in place to kind of stay grounded? I mean, you're traveling all over the place. You've got, this big career, huge accolades, lots of pressure. What do you kind of do? I mean, I know you talked about what home life looks like and letting loose, but what are some of those things that you just kind of have non-negotiables so that you stay and have peace of mind?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll tell you what grounds me every day is when I come home with my wife, my kids, and my family, because they will not let you be on that soapbox and where I have that opportunity, maybe in my role that I play or at the company that I'm in, because people are going to treat you a certain way. But then at home, your kids will call you out, right? And so I'll have to tell you this. I speak often. Next week there'll be a couple of more speaking opportunities where I'll be keynoting a couple of conferences and so forth. And the first time that I had to speak, where my daughter came to this conference with me, I was the most nervous that I was in a long time.
I bet.
And it's your daughter. And because they know you so well, and they don't have any problem calling you out, right?
They see past any BS.
Oh, they absolutely. And then they also, then you become conscious.
Yes.
Right? Then you become conscious, and that's not what you want when you're speaking.
No.
So, but so my family keeps me grounded. I'm so blessed
so great.
And you met Parul. That's a story that's a story for another day. But when I met her, she was living in a motel. Her family had this small little 18-room motel.
Wow.
And there was a little apartment. Our families had got together, and it's a whole different story there. But it's so I think that having somebody like that is your rock, your foundation, that is so humble, and her is it's really grounds you, right? And so, yeah, there's so many of those things like that. But, living in Chattanooga, I mean, I'm not trying to offend the people in the community of Chattanooga, but it does ground you.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It does ground you in Chattanooga. So because the people you're surrounding yourself with and the community that we live in is different than maybe some of those bigger communities where you see, a little different lifestyle and so forth. So, so I think I don't have to work too hard because I'm surrounded by
I love it.
that humbleness in the community that we live in and my family and so forth.
And it's so true. What I know of Parul, you're a wonderful person, but you've met your match with Parul. You guys
I
are both,
definitely have.
yeah, just such good humans. Okay, so to kind of tie this up, Mitch, what do you hope your legacy looks like when you're, when your kids are talking about you, when you're long gone and your great grandchildren are talking about you, or even, your employees' children are talking about, what is your legacy? What are you hoping for?
Well, I don't know if I really honestly have not thought a lot about that. So great question, by the way. So because it forces me to start thinking about that. I guess at the end of the day, as I started off our conversation, my dad came to this great country with $8 in his pocket to pursue the American dream. And what is the American dream? It is really simply a better life for the next generation. And I think that as a proud mother of 2 young children, I mean, you just want your children to have a better life than you did.
Totally.
Right? And your parents wanted you to have a better life than they did, right? They want you to be happy. They want you to be successful. Of course, success could be defined in so many different ways. And so it's, the legacy that I would like to leave behind for my kids is not necessarily, okay, this is this incredible business that we've created and here. I think that might be a mistake. And you've got to be real careful with that. But hopefully, we've raised some incredible human beings that are respectful, that are caring, that are going to be productive in society. They're going to find their own passions, whatever that is, and really be able to touch and enhance so many people's lives themselves. And I don't oftentimes, like growing up, my parents never had to sit me down and teach me, okay, that this is what this is what we want you to be, because I lived it.
Wow.
I lived it every single day. When you live in a motel and you're cleaning rooms and taking out trash and doing laundry, they didn't have to teach me about hard work. I didn't really know that other people didn't do this.
Wow.
Until I really spent some time and I got a little bit older, that I realized that you don't get up early Saturday morning and do this or do this or do this. And so it's, they didn't have to, it was our life, right? Now, fast forward, I don't live in a motel. I don't get my kids up early and let's go clean rooms. So, to ground them, yes, I'll tell you what we do. When we do travel, I do blend the travel at these great hotels and excursions that we take with going to an orphanage in Cambodia and spending a half day there, and where my kids get to talk to the kids there, where we donated uniforms or shoes. Some of these schools, they don't even have shoes because they'll get stolen or something like that. And then they'll get stolen multiple times, that they'll say, okay, forget it. We're not giving you any more shoes. And this kid's walking around without shoes.
Gosh.
In India, we went to this school for underprivileged kids and took my kids there, of course, and had each of my kids talk to certain classes, and we gave them out backpacks.
How important.
And the night before, they put American candy and coloring books and so forth in there. And these kids I've never seen faces with bigger smiles than that. And all of those things are important because, again, I don't live in a small motel anymore. Not cleaning rooms, doing laundry like I did growing up. And how do you teach your kids, these values and beliefs in a different way? And because they're not ignorant, right? They see, they read, they hear.
Yes.
And it's our job, to make sure that we leave a legacy where, especially like for my dad, it would break his heart if he saw, he's very proud, of course, of what we've been able to accomplish, but then he wants to see that next generation
Of course.
to be even better.
Wow.
So
I love it. That's so good. Okay, to end with a sentiment on the business you've built, I want you to fill in the blank for me. The heart of Vision Hospitality is
our people.
our people. Easy, easy.
Yep.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Mitch, you're wonderful. You're so insightful. Every time I'm with you, I could have 17 million more hours with you to hear all of your stories and gain your knowledge. Thank you so much for being on today. And thank you for all you do in our city and beyond.
And thank you for everything that you do, Amy, as well. Thank you for having me.
Thanks.